I want to show off my Neo-Geo collection. I did a previous video demonstrating the arcade cabinet, and now I want to show my collection of games. These are all MVS games. They're not home system games, and my goal is to eventually collect every one of them. I will do without the quiz and the Mahjong games, but every other major release I'm going to have eventually. This is roughly about a year or so of some collecting, and there's more here. I can't get it all in the shot, but I'll briefly go through the games here, the more notable ones and stuff like this. You can see I have them alphabetized. Now, these are in what's called a shock box. Now, these were never made by S&K. They are user creations. As you can see here, they give some flair to the arcade games. And good protection too, because you want to keep them out of moisture and debris and stuff. The cartridges inside. As you can see, the arcade cartridges were really, like I say, lackluster. So these are a good way to protect them while displaying them. They're great, and I will get shock boxes for all of them, and I have shock boxes for most. Anyway, starting over here, we have some of the earlier releases here, but they're all alphabetized, not by order release. There's Baseball Stars Professional, which I gave like $10 for that card. Great price. Burning Fight was like $20. Bust a Move was $50. This one was $110. Fatal Fury was $18. Special came in the arcade cab. It was actually in the floor of the arcade cab. Mark of the Wolves, I actually got this from a guy in China. He had a decent price on it. And not with the box, of course. But the card is not in mint condition by any standard. You'll find these in all kinds of conditions. You know, from the mint to the really haggard and used. But I got a good deal on this. Ordered it from China. The Kabuki Clash. This is a game that never was released for the home system. It's arcade fighter only, and it's kind of tongue-in-cheek a little bit. It's actually pretty good. My daughter likes to play that. Match or Melee, the one you saw, pretty uncommon. I got this as a partial kit, and I'll show you kits in just a moment versus loose cartridges. I have all of the Metal Slugs for the MVS. There was no Metal Slug 6 for the arcade. It exists as a bootleg, but Metal Slug 6 was on the Atomus Wave, the Sammy Atomus Wave. This has 1, 2, X, 3, 4, 5. As you can see, these binders make one picture. Now for other series, other installments, you can get a binder, you know, a collective picture of the binders. I didn't want to do that for the others because this makes it a little more exclusive, and it's my favorite title, you know. Puzzle Money, or Money Puzzle Exchanger. This one is a Japanese only release. It's very similar to Magical Drop 3, although it's a lot better and a lot harder. The company who made it, Face, actually went out of business because they were sued over Magical Drop 3, which it was very similar to. Nom 75's was a launch title. Pretty decent game. It's similar to Cabal on the arcade, if you know that. I think Cabal is probably better. I don't know, but not bad. The Neo Mr. Do, I got this one on eBay from a seller who was just starting off, so thankfully the price didn't go too high. The thing with this is, it's the Japanese version of Neo Mr. Do, and in Japan, this was an extremely rare release. It was extremely rare. There was very few. Picked this up for about $100. Price guide, it's worth close to $200 or so for the Japanese. Now, the only difference between the Japanese and the US or Euro versions on these are the stickers and the markings. The internal components are identical. There was no difference. They didn't make different sets. And what determines the difference in your machine is if you're seeing Japanese characters versus English is the BIOS that you have installed. It's not the cartridge. Neo Turf Masters I got from the same guy in China as Mark of the Wolves. This is the best golf game I've ever played for an arcade. I would say that's still probably the best one. It's so good. Nightmare in the Dark. I picked this up because it was a rare one. It's a rare title. It's basically a copy of Snow Brothers. If you know what that is, I got it for 150 bucks, which was a decent deal for this. Played the game, didn't really care for it, but I'm gonna collect every one of them, so doesn't matter. Puzzled, I picked this up as a kit. It's a Tetris clone. Samurai Showdown and Samurai Showdown 2 came with the arcade. They were in the machine, and the guy who sold it to me didn't know. Samurai Showdown 3, picked this up off of KLOV for a good price. Showdown 5 I got in a kit from Neo-Geo.com. This was a mint kit, and as a matter of fact, I mean, it was in beautiful condition. It was actually pretty much brand new, and with a serial number of 26, if you can see that. Very low serial, great buy. I gave only 90 for the whole kit. Probably my most valuable game is this one. It's Samurai Showdown 5 Special. There was only about 500 of these made, and they were recalled because there was a murder in a Japanese school. And the government didn't force a recall or anything, but they started pointing their finger at like media and violent video games and stuff like this. And so they recalled, there was only like 500 made, it was only released in Japan, and they recalled a bunch of them and took out a lot of the fatalities and stuff, Mortal Kombat type fatalities. Some of them a little more gruesome than Mortal Kombat. So very few of these survived intact. I got this actually from a gentleman in Japan. He had it on his personal website with his phone number. I actually called him and we talked. He was advertising it as a loose cart, and he wanted $180 for it. We talked for a while, and I took the chance. It got from Osaka, Japan to my house in Colorado in less than 48 hours. That's how fast the EMS shipping was. When I got it, it wasn't a loose cart at all, but a mint kit. And, you know, the value of that is like $700. I was shocked that he sent that. The thing is he had taken the original artwork and had laminated all of it. I don't know if that raises or decreases the value, but it's unfolded and laminated and put that in a separate bag. Whatever, I was just thinking I was getting the card anyway, and I got the whole kit, so I'm very happy with that. Shock Trooper 2nd Squad, got that from the same guy with the Neo Mr. Dude. King of Fighters 96, picked it up because it was dirt cheap. King of Fighters 2000, got this as a mint kit that I believe was brand new and had never been used for $69 on eBay. Can't beat that. King of Fighters 03, similar price. This is probably the best game in the series. A lot of SNK games, and as the series went on, it didn't mean that they got better. Metal Slug's a good example. You know, after Metal Slug 3, Metal Slug 4 was pretty bad. Metal Slug 5 was just better than 4. Considered the best of all time by fans is usually 3 or X, some say 2. But with the King of Fighters series, I've played the 96, I've also got 98 down here, 2000, 2003, and as I'm playing these games and progressing in them, the later ones have better control, the animations are more fluid, they just got better and better. Super Spy, believe that's a launch title, picked that up on cheap. Top Players Golf, got this one for $8. This is the cheapest one I have. Okay, now going down a little bit here. Waku Waku 7, this was a Japanese only release fighting game, very comical, hilarious, weird stuff in it and everything, very cartoonish, very unique title. World Heroes and World Heroes 2, I got those for cheap. Again, like the King of Fighters, the World Heroes 2, the control is much better than the first one. I won't even play the first one, the control is so bad. World Heroes 2 was fun. Something interesting on World Heroes 2, I got to the second to last guy and I took a loss. And the saying from the second to last guy, he said something about the winners are just and the strong survive. And then he says, but then again, I think the Democrats can save America. That's what was in there, which I thought was neat. Okay, down in here are kits. And basically what a kit is you get the box, you have stickers like move stickers and flyers, and that sort of thing. All carts were released as kits, very few kits still survive, okay? Now, with a typical kit, what you're gonna get is the box. It raises the value to have matching serial numbers, because you got to look at that when you buy a kit, because some people will have a loose box and a loose cart and just put them together as a kit, and if it's not matching, it's not the same. You'll typically have something like this, like a little anti-static bubble wrap for the cartridge, and then inside you'll also have like these stickers that go on the arcade cab, and a flyer of some sort. Some titles have a mini marquee. Not all of them do though. And typically you'll also have like dip settings. That with the cart, matching serial numbers, that's a full kit basically. So I have a few kits here. The Stakes Winners 2, totally mint. The Matcher Melee, you can see I put the carts in the box, but all the remaining material is in here except for this, because the pieces were laminated. This is not a kit at all. When I ordered NOM 75, somebody sent it to me in a Samurai Showdown 2 box and crossed out Samurai Showdown 2 and wrote NOM 75, which really sucks because I have a Samurai Showdown 2. Of course, the serials wouldn't match, but it'd be nice to have. There's the Samurai Showdown 5, the puzzle. And by mini marquee, when I mentioned that earlier, that's like this, and it fits into the top marquee that says Neo-Geo and has a little spot so you can see. These are just extra little flyers that I've picked up for which the games I don't have. Now, these carts over here are basically ones I'm waiting on shock boxes for. I haven't got the shock box yet, for the most part. So we have Magical Drop 3. Label's a little damaged there, doesn't matter. I have the original Sengoku. Super Sidekicks 2. It's a soccer game. Art of Fighting. Not a very good fighter, in my opinion. King of Fighters 98. And you can see some of these will have like a holographic label. I don't know if you can see it on there. Those are really nice to have. Now this last one is actually a bootleg of SVC Chaos. And if that isn't any indication, it's all of those EPROMs in there and hand soldering in there and stuff. I got this because I want all original. But sometimes I'll order from a guy in Texas who runs across carts, and whenever I buy from him, he throws in a free bootleg. So, you know, it's free. You know, I'll still get the original SVC Chaos. But hey, if it's free, whatever, you know. That's pretty much that. Down here, I have a spare 2-slot motherboard. This is a backup board. I've also done the battery mod on it. Removed the leaky rechargeable. I also removed the resistor in the charging system so that the charge doesn't go to this battery. And this battery can be easily replaced, and that saves your high scores and your dip settings for up to 8 games. That's a fully functional board. I have an extra. And that's pretty much it. The value of this collection as it is, it's hard to say. I'd have to go through and really count the value and what I paid for each one and what they actually go for. Obviously the most expensive one is the Sancho Kit 5 Special, which is probably around $700 in mint condition. You know, all together, not counting the arcade machine, there's a couple of $1,000 here. But I guess I'll cut it short. That's been long enough, and thanks for watching.